Good morning, everybody. Welcome into another Saturday edition of Also Eligible. Joe Quills here with you, and we are going to have uh, an action-packed show. Um, and I will say one thing here, but I've been doing everything I can with this, so I'm just going to go through it. But going to be looking at races from Tampa Bay Downs this morning. They have the Tampa Bay Derby this afternoon, and we're going to look at Santa Anita. They have the San Felipe, which is a 50-point race, and we also have the big cap, the Santa Anita Handicap here this afternoon. So we're going to be looking at 6 races overall: 3 at Tampa Bay, 3 at Santa Anita, and we'll get those 6 races going for you here this afternoon, this morning. So just to let you guys know that we have we do have the FanDuel promotion there on the top there. You can scan that and you can get your promotion there with FanDuel and take advantage of the offers that Bleacher Brothers has. And you can, if you're looking for a new sports book, take advantage of our offer there. There are other offers available, but they have to be put back onto the website because they were working on the website over the last couple of weeks. So we'll get into that. So little extra tired here today because last night I was at the Candlebox concert at Parks Casino, and gotta say one thing: the lead singer still sounds great after the band's been around for 33 years. So fun concert last night up at Ben Salem, not far from me. So we'll see. We'll see how I handle today because it's been a long night. I crashed hard early last night, which meant that I'm doing this script at 4:00 in the morning. I'm still not done. I'll let you behind the curtain. I did the Tampa Bay races. I pretty much did the 2 Santa Anita races. I didn't do the big cap, so I'll be typing that up after the show here. I'll be looking at it for you guys on the screen, but think of it as going inside my mind instead of me just going by my script here. So, but we'll get everything here going on this Saturday morning. Do want to start the show with some breaking news, some personal news, and I will let you guys know that the Bleacher Brothers stable is growing. Now, granted, it isn't an actual stable. It's the horses that AJ has owned, has bought a piece of, and we just call it the Bleacher Brothers stable just for craps and giggles. But we have added to the stable. And that is because yours truly is now a horse owner. Now, all the horse know there's a thing called micro sharing where you buy a fraction of the horse and you get paid relative to that amount. So I bought into this colt that does not have a name yet. He's just listed as Shippy 24. He is a 2-year-old colt. Life is Good is the sire, who this is from his first crop, from what I understand. And he is already on the grounds at Gulfstream Park. He is he's probably a few months away from hitting the track, but they're saying that he's already ready to start training up to his first. I'm imagining June or July right now, but so much can happen between now and then. But I am technically a horse owner. I own the horse's anus. I have a picture of it. No, I'm looking. But I want to show you this video. And this is Shippy 24 joining the Gustavo Delgado Senior Barn. Now, Gustavo Delgado won the Kentucky Derby 3 years ago with Mage. So, you never know. Might hit lightning in a bottle, I mean, I don't have that many shares in, but I have enough where, it's like, okay, well, I can afford it, I'm not saying I put like tens of thousands of dollars on it. I didn't, but I want you to show this video only because it looks like, from what I can see so far, this horse is huge for a 2-year-old who technically isn't 2 until April 1st, but he is a 2-year-old who he's 2-year-olds in the eyes of the way that they restrict races here based on age, because all horses, for those that are unaware, all North American horses or races in North America, they use January 1st as the horse's birth date. But the actual birth date is April 1st. But this horse looks massive for a 2-year-old.
¿Todo bien, campeón? Buenas tardes. Tengo un tip para esto, tú ves, ¿sabes? Pero... Ajá.
And I like when the horses peek out like that. Who's that horse? So he looks massive for a 2-year-old, but also I'm going by the size of this this barn worker who, for all I know, could be 5'2". But yeah, so I bought into that horse. You can go to the Commonwealth website, which is joincommonwealth.com if you're interested. It's $50 a share, so it's not like you're putting your life earnings in there, but it gives you the thrill of thoroughbred racing. It also gives you an opportunity to find out about owning a thoroughbred. And for some people, it may just be you go in there and you say, you know what, this isn't for me. And some people will get the itch and go further with this. AJ, our leader here at Bleacher Brothers, he's gotten the itch. He's got 5 or 6 different horses right now, probably looking to add to it, probably. But yeah, so So I'll be updating you on that, and my horse will be added to the quote-unquote Bleacher Brothers stable on the website when we get that page back up and running. So, yeah, so I'm a horse owner. So that is with Commonwealth, and for $50 a share, you can go on there. They have two offerings right now. They have Shippy 24, who will probably be named once it gets approved by the Jockey Club. And they have they also have a grade 3 winning filly named Italian Soiree. Now, there's 14 days left to invest in her. Plenty of shares are available right now. And she's already run in 10 races, won 2 races, including a grade 3. I wanted to start with a horse that never ran. I didn't want to go with a horse that was has already run 10 times or whatever. So I prefer to be on the ground floor with the horse. So, and the cool thing is, because I saw it with AJ, because I actually saw AJ on one of the simulcast feeds one day. I'm like, oh, AJ's there. You get an opportunity to RSVP to show up and be in the owner's box or whatever, and but you can be in the paddock as well. Little perks that you get there with owning a horse. So, but who knows? Maybe my horse will be running in the Tampa Bay Derby next year, or running in the Florida Derby with a chance to go to the Kentucky Derby next year. Who knows? Or he just may be a horse that just does not run, because those horses end up happening too, despite the breeding and the pedigrees and stuff like that. That's a great thing about horse racing. You can get a modestly bred horse like a Smarty Jones and win the Derby, or you can get a regally bred horse, spend millions upon millions of dollars on them. I think Green Monkey is the one that is probably the most famous one. Hit the track, really didn't do much, but that's the thing with horse racing. It's all a gamble. Sometimes those modestly bred horses, they rise to the top, and sometimes those top horses, regally bred horses, don't do a damn thing. So, but that's horse racing for you, and hopefully I have a horse that will rise to the top over the next year or so, and who knows. But we're going to get to the races here today, and just to let you know, we're looking at Tampa Bay Downs, and at Santa Anita, and we're going to look at races 9, 10, and 11 on the card here. It appears there was some rain at Tampa Bay Downs, because the main track and the turf course are both firm. I mean, they're not firm. The main track's not fast, it's good. The turf course is also good. Let me just check one thing here. As I was playing Yahtzee when I was rebooting my computer. I'm just looking up the weather here at Oldsmar, Florida. Looks like weather's going to be good there the rest of the day. If there's any rain, it may be later after the races. So expect drying out conditions, especially on the main track. We'll see how the turf dries out and whatnot as well. So let's get to these races here. We have 6 races to look at today. And Grade 2 Hillsborough is the first race on tap here. They're going 1.1 miles on the turf here. It's for older fillies and mares. And favored is right at the top of your program there, the 1 Whiskey Decision. And was in some traffic at the 8th pole there in her first race in 3 months, almost 4 months there. And finished 4th, but did finish well there in that race. And that was a mad dash to the finish there. She definitely will close and is probably the strongest closer, a strong closer here, and should be able to run down any foes here today that are in front of her. Has shown that ability and should, maybe able to get the job done here. But, you can always argue, oh, she's stuck on the rail. However, it's got plenty of time to figure out which direction to go. She's got Flavien Prat here, who's one of the top jockeys in the country right now. Definitely could do that. So she's going to be able to show that strong kick again today, and should be able. I mean, has been able to show that strong kick since she returned to the races last June at Monmouth Park, and definitely will be showing that again this afternoon. The 2 Proctor Street had a rare clunker there, bounced in that race there. She's usually a closer, but she can stalk if she needs to. So, I think she's more going to be a closer here than a stalker, but, can do that if she needs to. She has won at this distance. She won the Cardinal at Churchill Downs at the end of November. Definitely going to be closing late here. This may have just been one of those races where you just put a line through it. So it definitely is a play here today, and should be closing again today. If she doesn't run well, they'll have some decisions that they have to make. But so that is the 2. The 3 dreaming of ABBA. I don't see anything that's worth looking at there. Destino d'Oro won that race here, and you're seeing a lot of these horses are coming over from Gulfstream Park here. So another strong closer here. Got up late for the win there. Was widest of them all. Definitely, there's no reason why this horse can't replicate this performance, But then again, that's why they run the races on the track and not on paper. But definitely a horse to be reckoned with here. 5-2. I wouldn't be surprised if they flip the 1 and the 4 and they make the 4 the favorite here. But wouldn't surprise me if the 1 is favorite here as well. Aunt Mo, why? That's all I have to say. Child of the Moon, probably going to be closer to the pace here, but second race in over a year. So she will definitely be but she's one of those horses that have a chance I don't have in my top 4. Scythian the 7, going to be close to the pace here. Finished 3rd in the Endeavor. probably could have used probably could have been better off the kick. Did have the little bit of a layoff. Good sign that she comes back here in about 5 weeks here. So definitely worth a play here if you're interested in her. The 8 and one more time. Probably going for the lead here. It just depends who's with her because she may steal this race on the front end, but I think she gets caught late. But I'm going to go with Proctor Street here. Had been pretty consistent until that last race. And, mind you, that Pegasus World Cup filly mare Turf, that's some of the top fillies and mares running in that race, or, the best horses that they can get to run in that race because they're running for some big money in that race. But then again, you had the 4 here that also ran in it. You had the 1 who ran in it. You had the 8 who ran in it. But I'm going to go with Proctor Street here in a mild upset here. It's 9-2 in the morning line. We'll see how it ends up when they wager on this race here today. But I'm going with the 2 here, Proctor Street here, and that is 2417 in the Hillsborough Grade 2 race. Up next is the Florida Oaks. It is a Grade 3 race on the turf. Turf, once again, as a reminder, is good right now. You have a field of in this race, so you have a big field here. The rail will be at 0 feet, which basically means it's going to be as far inward as they can get it. What a lot of these tracks like to do is, with the turf course, they love to protect the inside of the turf as much as possible. So even with races earlier in the week, they did have races that the rails were 20, 30 feet out. And the reason why is for races like today, they want to have the best turf course that they can have, especially on the inside. So that is definitely why they did something like that. So, and also, just let you know, there were a couple of not also eligibles, but cross entries here. Alone Time is going to be running here today, so you can, if you're playing the fairgrounds, you can probably scratch her there. Appears Dame Dona's running here because the early scratches have come in. So just keep that in mind here if you're going to be looking at the Tampa Bay program after we conclude this show this morning. So we have a field of 11. No changes here from what we see so far. And favorite is Time to Dream, which is the 7 here. Ran a clunker in that race here. Got bumped around on the final turn there. Just it's, I say this so many times, so many great horses did not run a lick in the Breeders' Cup. It could have been just did not like the track. It could be a case like this where horses were just didn't take to the track for whatever reason. So many different reasons. Or just that the field was so loaded, somebody has to finish 5th. Somebody has to finish 7th. Somebody has to finish 10th. And that may be the case here. But she comes back here, obviously a turf horse, won her first 2 races at Saratoga going long. Definitely has the talent to do it, has the breeding for it too. Definitely going to be closing here. And, races like that race at Del Mar happen from time to time. But she got the winter off, was wintering in Florida at Palm Beach Downs, has some nice works there. And don't be surprised if she has a cleaner trip here today, even though she's got just as large of a field as she did that Friday afternoon on Halloween. The 9 Coco Motion. And I have to fix that on the program. I have to fix that on the article here that I'll be posting. And the articles will be posted by around 12 or so. I got to finish the Santa Anita articles. And what I do is I just post both at the same time. But Coco Motion, very impressive winner there. Had a strong move there on the backstretch. And the next thing you know, she's challenging for the lead and then drawing off the win by 6. Very impressive win. And don't be surprised if you see this horse potentially being, being challenging in the turf divisions to this season. So don't be surprised with that. But, definitely. And this is the race last year that really got the ball rolling for Nitrogen. And we know what Nitrogen is now. And we're not talking about the gas. We're talking about the horse. Nitrogen turned out to be a pretty damn good horse who could win both on turf and dirt. So I'm not saying that she will be a horse that runs on the dirt, but, sometimes you find the surface that your horse likes, even if he or she isn't bred for it. And I keep telling you about Cigar, bred for the turf, got moved to the dirt. The rest is history. So definitely a horse worth playing here. And, especially if it shows that same closing kick or that same move, look out. The 3 Abigail has won two in a row here at Tampa Bay Downs, won by 3 lengths each time. Might have to improve that speed figure a little bit here today. Probably will. Kick clear. Did have in the maiden win, did open up a little bit earlier, but did kick clear late in the optional claiming race there as well. Now she does have speed to the inside right here with Alone Time. So Alone Time is going to be running here from what I saw in an article on the Daily Racing Farm site. She could sit right off of this 2 horse and just put pressure on there. And the next thing you know, that 2's folding. This horse takes the lead and possibly could win this at nice odds if the 6-1 holds. So that is definitely worth the play here. The 11, Legina, at least I hope that's pronounced right. We'll let Jason Bean handle that name today. That's a great thing about not being a track announcer. I can butcher this and not have it be held against me too often. But Legina comes in here, won an optional claiming race here to break the maiden, going gate to wire. Tried to go gate to wire in the Ginger Brew, finished second, Did come back and a little bit of a slower start, so to speak. Did win rather easily at Gulfstream last month. Has trained at at Palm Meadows there. Did run on the turf. Did train on the turf, which is an option there at Palm Meadows. So got herself ready with the races there, and definitely working on the stamina there. Get it at top peak there, because those 5 and 6 furlong workouts are stamina building there. So, but now, Time to Dream should get on track here today, and should here show that closing kick. However, I was impressed with Coco Motion. I was impressed with I'm trying to follow the horse on the race here, and and the next thing you know, that horse has the lead. So I'm like, oh, there it is, something like that. But don't be, I really like this. I really like this 9 horse here. And I'm going to take the 9 horse to win here. I'm going 9, 7, 3, 11 here, Coca Motion to win here. But, and also Icon Racing Stable, that's Jason Worth's stable. And if I'm not mistaken, that is another, if I'm not mistaken, that's another micro share business. Yeah, this is, but I think these may be higher priced. Yeah, I have to look at a little more, but that is Philly legend Jason Works stable there. So, and if you follow my show, the Joe Quill Show, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday here on most of these same platforms, you have to understand that sometimes I say legend as sarcastic, like Whit Merrifield is a legendary Philly. Like, he didn't do anything with the Phillies, but Jason Worth is a legend to Philadelphia because he played on the 2008 World Series team. He played numerous years for the Phillies, that sort of thing. So you have to understand where I am with some of the things when it comes with a word like legend. Sometimes it's a joke. Sometimes it's fact, and it's a fact. He's a Phillies legend. He's a champion. He got to ride down Broad Street in a championship parade. So he definitely will be revered here in Philadelphia, and his horse here will be dangerous here. And I really like that horse here today. I'm going with Coca Motion in this this 10th race here. Then we have the Tampa Bay Derby, which is the feature race here. 50 points to the winner, 25 for second, and 15, 10, and 5 for third, fourth, and fifth. We have a field of 9 here. No scratches yet. And there should be no scratches, but you never know. They're going a mile and a 16th. The track is labeled as good right now. I imagine that's going to be fast by this race. I mean, it'll probably be fast by early in the day, probably, if it's good now. But yeah, so we're looking at 9 horses here, and the winner is probably in the Derby. Now, if you're watching FanDuel Racing later today, or you're looking at, this may be on Fox Sports today. I don't know if they're going to show this or. Let me just check one thing here. Just want to see one thing here, and I'm having a hard time finding it. Fox TV schedule. There it is. 2 to 7 p.m., but it doesn't tell me who's going to be on. So it may be they may pull it up there. It may just be whatever. Yeah, who knows? But either way, there are ways to watch this race today, whether it's FanDuel Racing, your FanDuel account, or if you use another account, you may be able to watch it live on there. There's many different options you can watch these races, or you can just watch it on the Tampa Bay Downs YouTube as well. That's an option as well. I may just set that up, take a nap, and wake up in time for the races. But yeah, so you have your options to watch this race and all the races at Tampa Bay Downs today. We recommend the FanDuel Racing platform as well. So, but just to let you guys know, because I did not share my screen here earlier, and I didn't check it this morning. The two Tampa Bay Downs race 10 today is a money back wager for $10. Now the San Felipe at Santa Anita and the Tampa Bay Derby, you get up to $20 back if your horse finishes second or third, depending on the size of the race. Santa Anita will be for second because I think there's 7 horses in that race. But if you go to the FanDuel Racing page and you check the promotions, all the terms and conditions are on there. So, that is that's the one thing I forgot to mention was that. So, but anyway, so we got a field of 9 here. Favored is the 6 Further Ado, and won the Kentucky Jockey Club last time out after destroying a field at Keeneland to break his maiden. Won by 20 lengths. I mean, it's rare that you win a race by 20 lengths, but the combination of horse running a big race and all that. But, the horse did bounce a little bit, but still won. Was a little bit off the pace, had to duel a little bit, edge clear late for that win. Definitely worthy of the 9-5 odds here. Has the pedigree to run long. Gunrunner is one of the top sires that horses that can handle the longer distances. So don't be surprised if you see this horse up there at the end. And since this is your free race of the day, this is what you will see once you click in. Now the Puma, the 8, he ran in a Sam F. Davis, finished third. Wasn't going to get to the top 2, but I will show this race here. I'm going to move it ahead a little bit.
Poor to complete the line, steering toward the outside. Comes Renegade. Renegade launching up on.
So he is the 3 here. It's not going to let me do it like this. Got to stretch it out a little bit for you. There we go. So the Puma is the 3 horse, and watch when he comes into the turn here.
The outside, trying to circle past rivals. Wayne's Law is still in front at the quarter pole. It's Wayne's Law, game for it, trying to push on by Renegade.
So he's boxed in here. I mean, he has nowhere to go. Starts to get a little bit of a seam.
Here comes Renegade.
Goes inward. You see him check or he's boxed in there. He's still running hard.
Takes over from Wayne's Law, who's a stubborn foe, but
Renegade ends up winning here.
And I ran Ortiz Jr. to win the Sam F. Davis.
But you can see the trouble that's there.
The Puma was third, game for it.
But when you look at the program here, it doesn't make that much note of that particular move where he got stymied a little bit, whether you call it checking or whatever. He just didn't look. He looked like he got stopped by horses in front of him. Had a little bit of a traffic trouble there. Now, if you dig further, you see here, came around the far turn in the 2-path and was no match. Never mentioned that. So it just seemed to me that even though he's still a maiden, he's run 2 great races. And also, Chief Wallaby, who beat him in his debut, just missed in the Fountain of Youth last week. So that maiden special weight on January 10th was a monster race of these two. The Puma ran a good race there in the Sam F. Davis. I'm liking what I see with the Puma here. So don't be surprised if you see that horse there. Canaletto, he's going to be on the lead here. So definitely will be on the lead here and has the potential to go and gate the wire here. Is this I had to look at the ownership there because I saw something from Jason Worth that he's related to one of his horses. I forget. But, and then, let me tell you something, brother. Hulkamania, he ran wild on February 8th at Tampa. It was an impressive win. The number came back a little low. Okay, obviously is going to have to really hulk up. He's going to have to say his prayers, take his vitamins, all that stuff. And the only thing that I hope is if this horse wins, because I know Jason Beam from being on other podcasts and having his own podcast, he's a wrestling fan. And he did make a Hogan reference. You know what? Screw it. We're going to play the end of the race here.
Ripman, another length and final 1/8 of a mile left to go. Hulkamania takes over. Hulkamania now in front by 2 to Rama J and Gold Light. It's 3 more back to Arraign. But inside the final 16th of a mile, Daniel Centeno and Hulkamania leading it by 3. Rama J is second. But what you going to do when Hulkamania debuts and wins by 3? Second got close. Rama J and Gold Light. It was a ways back to Arraign, who finished 4th. Brother.
So he dropped the – I was like – did he drop some Hulk Hogan references there? And he did. And for the sake of getting a good laugh from Jason Beam, who I'm friends with, have met up with him, talked to him numerous times at parks, for example. Definitely a good dude. And if this horse wins, I'm hoping he pulls a couple more Hulkamania lines, Hulk Hogan lines here as well, because, I'd be like, there you go, brother. Or even if he's talking about the race, maybe he says something about training, saying his prayers, eating his vitamins, all that stuff that he said, which was total BS because you knew he was on the juice. But either way, I'm hoping this horse wins for the audio content. And who knows, maybe it ends up being the clip that he uses at the beginning of his show on a podcast. So, but I don't think that's going to happen. I love the Puma here. I really do. I just think that he ran himself into some trouble there. And also gets the jockey change to Javier Castellano. I think that's a big plus there, going from Gonzalez here. We had a maiden win in the Sam F. Davis. I think we're having a maiden win this race here too. So I'm going with the Puma here to upset Further Ado here. I'm going 8, 6, 9, 4 in the Tampa Bay Derby, brother. Yeah, you could tell that I watched wrestling when I was younger because I'm doing the Hulk Hogan references as well, brother. Saying prayers, eating vitamins, all that stuff. So. Oh, you can tell I am way too tired. I'm really acting goofy more than usual today, but we're 3 races in, 3 races to go here. We're going to look quickly at the races at Santa Anita here. Well, I don't have a time to finish up by, but I do want to get you on your way to wagering on these races if you choose to do so. And also, maybe I'm giving you some, even if I'm not picking the horse that you want to play, maybe I'm giving you guys the information that, Joe likes this 8 horse, but I kind of like this 9. Go right ahead. If I'm not giving you the information of that my horse winning, if I'm giving you the information of another horse winning, then I'm doing my job, in my opinion, because I'm highlighting these other horses as well. So let's get to Santa Anita here, and I think their scratches won't be in yet. They have the San Felipe, which is a Kentucky Derby prep race. The winner will probably get into the Derby. And the reason why I word it like that is the Kentucky Derby points, you can say, 40 points gets you into the Derby. It's different every year. It's just the way things crumble. Because, sometimes the sum of the parts can lead you to that 50-point threshold and get you in. A couple of years you needed very little points to get in. It's just the way horses fall off the trail for whatever reason. But either way, we're going to look at the 3 Santa Anita races here. Hopefully we'll get through these races here. Scratches are not in yet from what I can tell. Which is good for me because I got to finish up the article here. But we have the San Felipe. We have a field of 7 here. And Brant, the 4, is heavily favored here. Let me share my screen again. There we go. So Brant's heavily favored here. Probably going to go off odds on here, which means he's less than even money. Probably going to go for the lead. That's California racing for the most part. It's, going for the lead and taking all the way around here. But the only thing is his other horse, Bafford's other horse here, Patente, went gate the wire here. And I write in the article here that, a lot of times what Baffert will do with his horses, he'll go maiden special weight sprint, allowance optional claiming 2 turns, and then a graded stake, even if it's just the even if it's not a Kentucky Derby prep race. But if he's looking to get this horse into the Kentucky Derby, he doesn't have time to do maiden race, optional claimer, Santa Anita Derby, because he's letting this race decide, do I run him in the Derby or not, in the Santa Anita Derby. And also with the horse population down in California, he could probably still run him next month, but he's giving him that acid test here today. Now Brant should be on the lead here. Patente, we'll see what he does here. I mean, does have a 6 furlong work in there, a 5 furlong work in there. So has had these stamina building workouts. So, and like the handicapper says, it may be a big ask here. I mean, Patente, if you're Baffert, you hope these 2 horses don't burn each other out, and I doubt they will, but worth mentioning as well here. So Happy, the 6. Um, Now, Run Happy wasn't necessarily a horse that was a distance runner, but he does have Super Saver. So Happy has Super Saver in the pedigree, who won the Kentucky Derby 2018, somewhere in there. Blame won the Breeders' Cup Classic years ago, so does have other horses in the pedigree that have gone long and did the job. So, there is stamina in the genes. It may not necessarily be Run Happy, but but also I will also, like I said before, just because one horse in the pedigree doesn't run long, it may, you never know until you put them on a track. But So Happy here, should be able to get this distance, and in a way, we'll see if there's some divine intervention of this horse, with this horse, because I saw earlier this week that Mark Glatt, he lost his wife very recently. So first of all, condolences to him and his family. But I'm sure there's going to be a mention, especially on FanDuel Racing, FanDuel TV, of this, because of the fact that FanDuel Racing is based out of Southern California. So don't be surprised if you see something, see some sort of a comment like that. But now, I'm not picking this horse based off of the divine intervention, stuff like that. There's a time and a place for religion and whatever, but, and not going to lie, there's sometimes when you're in sports and other things where you just say, man, that is weird how, it just seems like somebody's watching down on them. Nothing wrong with that. But I think if this horse does get the distance, which I think it will, it's going to be sitting right near Brant. And in So Happy's case, you hope that Potente is going to be on the lead with Brant. Now, Brant early in that first race there did not go for the lead there, did stalk. But I think that this horse may go for the lead. And also, you may see a monster race out of Brant based on the fact that with him being off the races for a couple of months, he may have matured a little bit. And sometimes that maturation process and those couple of months away from the races, it may turn this horse into a monster. Or it may be that these other horses that end up like the horses that were in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile there, it may be that some of these horses catch up because, the maturation process catches up in some ways because, some people, like we know this from playing sports growing up, some people hit puberty earlier than others and they had that advantage. And, then after a while, the others caught up. But that's, and that happens in horse racing all the time. All of a sudden you see some of these horses and next, where did that come from? But, that may be the case here with Brant. Secured Freedom, probably the best of the rest here. Don't be surprised if this horse is ruining the top 3 here that I have here. But actually, I do have him third. You have some race filler here with Flashy Fritz. Not even in the, not even nominated. Start the Ride, gets to run in open company for the first time. Going to need a lot to steal this race here. Robusta didn't show much, tired in that race. Maybe another horse that challenges for the lead. Who knows? But if he's not fast enough to get the lead from Pretente and also Brandt, probably will be sitting right on the outside of them, looking to make a move. But I don't think this horse will be able to do much. But now, some can argue some will argue the divine intervention after the story that I told you. But I think So Happy will make that step forward here. And I think that this horse wins this race. Can't really call it an upset when it's a 2-1 horse, but when you have a heavy Baffert favorite, maybe. But either way, I'm going with the 6 here. So Happy here. I'm going 6-4-3-5 here in this race here. The San Felipe at Santa Anita. And then we go to race 9. That's the Frank Kilroe mile, going a mile on the turf. There is a field of 8 here. And this is a money back special race on This is a money back special race on FanDuel, so you get up to $10 back on this race if your horse finishes second or third. Right now, I can say second and third because there's 8 horses running. Favorite in this race is the 3 El Patente, and his best races are on the lead. Went gate to wire in the Thunder Road. Bruce Springsteen, even though it's probably not named for Bruce Springsteen's song, but whoa, Thunder Road. Sorry, I had to do it. But, was on the lead, drew off the win by almost 4 lengths there. Did not get the lead in Hernandez. That's going down the hill. Probably went down the hill because, it may have been a race that was available, and a lot of times going down the hill to running a mile, that really helps the horse, and especially a horse like this that's going to go for the lead. So, definitely a horse that's going to go for the lead here and could be very dangerous here. But could have some company in Mibago. At least I think that's how it's pronounced here. This horse only knows one way to run, and that's on the lead. And this is a typical Mark Casse horse on the turf. Wants to go for the lead here. Definitely a horse that needed that race and held on to win that race here. Looking into big and better things here. But the one thing I'm concerned with here is since that race in April, for the most part, weak in there, yielded, was second best there to a horse that won by 7 in the Pennine Ridge. Faded late in the Penn Mile. The Hall of Fame race at Saratoga faded. You could see that there's a pattern here. Now, granted, a layoff like this can stop that pattern. However, you're talking about a horse that wants to go for the lead, has other speed in this race here, even with Cabo Spirit. And you got the favorite who wants to go for the lead. So you're definitely looking at a speed duel at the start. And it's a matter of what horse can, if one of these want to stalk the pace here. But it looks like all 3 are going to go for the lead. But then again, you have a stumble here. You have unalert horse at the break, things like that. Next thing you know, you have one less horse to worry about at the start in that duel. Mi Hermano Ramon finished fourth in the Wise Dam back in June. First race back in over 8 months. Definitely going to be a horse that's going to be middle to the back of the field here. And you could see here the Shoemaker Mile at the end of May closed well, just missed. The Kilroe Mile last year was closing well, just had a couple of horses in front of them. So you could see that there's the ability to close here. Hopefully we'll be able to make that late move again today. So we'll see what happens there. The 2 Almendares, another horse that can close, and shipped east for the Pegasus World Cup Turf Invitational, ran well, got bumped around even at the 3/16 pole, still ran on, finished third there, 37-1. And in this race, you got some of the top turf horses running in this race here. So even though it didn't run any Breeders' Cup Turf, Breeders' Cup Mile, whatever, still definitely a horse that can be reckoned with here. Now, if there's one thing that you may raise a red flag on, 0 for 6 on the turf at Santa Anita, but what makes you bring that flag down is 2 seconds and 2/3. So it isn't like it's 6-0-0-0. Now, you're facing a horse here that's won 6 and 9 here at Santa Anita in the favorite El Patente, but truthfully, I really like Almendares here. I really do. But has won at this distance, won at this distance at Del Mar. Has run well. Has run well here. Even in November at Del Mar here, didn't miss by much. He's definitely got the closing kick. He's got the setup. So I'm going to go with the 2 in a bit of an upset here. I'm going with the two here, Almendares, and I'm going 2-1-3-6 here. A slight upset here in the Kilroe Mile. And then finally, the Grade 1 Santa Anita Handicap. They're going 1.25 miles. And I don't know why that they have this portion of it lit up, but whatever. But we have a field of 6 going here. And even though you see the program number 7 there, the reason why is Skippy Longstocking. And I'm sitting there in the Las Vegas airport, and I read the article earlier that morning. They were planning to ship him out from his South Florida base, and they wanted to run in this race. However, he threw a fit on the plane and said, "No, we ain't going." Now, I don't know. They didn't say what caused it. I mean, the person that's me, because now that I'm a horse owner, and the thing is, temperament of horses are so much different between horses as well. It's just like people in general, in a way. One person may not be, it's kind of like the when they did a test of the Flintstones in the Middle East. The people of Dubai didn't like the Flintstones, but the people of Abu Dhabi do. But anyways, I had to do that. But seriously, horses have different temperaments, just like humans do. It is what it is. So, I mean, I would like to know what freaked him out, if they knew what it was. Maybe he just didn't want to get on a plane for whatever reason. But either way, Skippy Longstocking has been scratched here, and we will hopefully see him in a race down the road here, probably probably on the East Coast, because, you'll find out quickly if that was just a one-time thing, or maybe he's just like humans and doesn't want to fly anymore. But we'll see. But with the scratch, getaway car, just a touch is the 3-2 favorite. Yep. Okay, so 3-2 favorite here. And he's going to run for the first time at a mile and a quarter in almost 2 years. Just missed in the Louisiana Stakes there at the fairgrounds in January. I think I had a Cellarize that day. Definitely going to stalk here. Definitely type of horse that wants to be towards the front here. There should be no issue with him getting the distance. Some people may say, oh, he didn't get the distance here in the Kentucky Derby. But a lot of horses don't get the distance in the Kentucky Derby, and they end up running fine. I mean, he came back at Prairie Meadows in July there. Now we're talking about 2 years ago, but bounced back off of that. Probably was 3-5 just on the fact that you see, oh, he ran the Kentucky Derby. But has run some good races here. Has run well in that 1.8 miles, and if he gets a clean start here, may even be on the lead here and go all around. So, this is like the comment is a scary new face. Probably benefits the most from Skippy being scratched here, and you never know. Because this will probably turn into a tactical race than it is a speed race. So, the course record at this distance is 157.4, maybe 201, 202, something like that, in my opinion. And, probably prove me wrong and probably run a sub 2. But getaway car here, finish second to San Pasquale here. Another horse here should have no problem with this distance. Curlin is one of the top sires in horses going long distances. And also maybe on the lead as well. But also keep in mind, this horse has gone for the lead. This race here, this was a race where he was dueling on the lead last February at Sunland Park. This 1.8 race at Virginia Derby, he faded in that race. But just to give you a preview, because we'll be talking Colonial Downs next week, the Virginia Derby, it's such a weird race, and we're probably going to have these weird races at Belmont next spring, because the Virginia Derby is the only track other than Belmont in North America where you run 9 furlongs or 1.8 miles going one turn. So don't know what to expect there. So, but definitely will be able to handle the distance. Baffert has the stamina building workouts here that he usually does here, or to keep the stamina up even. So definitely worth a look here today. Westwood 7-2. Went gate the wire here. Has shown the ability that he can if he needs to. Was bothered in this race where he was stalking the pace, but has run on the lead the last couple of times. Did that in the San Pasquale and went gate to wire in that race. So it also has a strong bullet work here. A little concerned about the 46-3 part, but okay. So Westwood will reportedly scratch. thankfully I saw that, so we won't talk about that horse. So, British Isles got around at the top of the stretch there. Wasn't getting to the top two in that race. You're running on their home track, and those are the top two horses there. Vodka, Turf to Dirt, probably pass on that. The one Midnight Mammoth has gone the 1.25 miles, finished second to Skippy Longstocking in the Gold Cup back in May. Should get the distance, but did tire in his last time out, and may tire here because there is some other speed in this race. But we're looking at a short field in this race, and it looks like the favorite just a touch will get the job done here. So I'm going to say 3-2. I'll throw in the 4 Vodka. No, let's throw in the 6 here, who appears to be second race off the layoff. Did have some trouble there in that race here. So we're going to go 3-2-6. The 7 appears to be a scratch in this race here. And also with the Skippy Longstocking scratch, got a short field here for the Santa Anita Handicap here this afternoon. Somebody will get their grade 1 win here. Just scanning here real quick. Yeah, somebody will get their first grade 1 win. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is also eligible for this Saturday. I do appreciate everybody watching here today. And the articles will be up shortly. And next week, we will look at Colonial Downs. They have the Virginia Derby. That is a 50-point race there, a special 3-day meet that they have. So we'll be looking at those next Saturday at 10 a.m. The Virginia Oaks, the Virginia Derby. And we may look at those other 2 stakes races that are on the card here, the Royal New Kent and the Sandy Bottom Stakes. So that is it for now. I do appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you guys, if I don't get the winners, I hope you do. And, hopefully, even if I didn't give you the winning horse, hopefully I've highlighted the horses that you want to play so you guys can win. So if I don't win, I hope you do. So, but I do appreciate each and every one of you. So let's do it live next Saturday at 10 a.m. for Also Eligible. And also the Joe Quill Show, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 9 o'clock on most of these same channels. So that's it for now. Do appreciate all of you. Catch me, twitch.tv/Joe Quills. I am that guy, Joe Quills, and hope you have a great day. See you in the winter.